Okay, are you ready for chapter 2 of George's Marvellous Medicine? This chapter is called The Marvellous Plan. Now I think that chapter maybe gives away a little bit of what you think might happen next. I think he's going to have a plan. Let me show you the picture, it might help you think about it more too. Okay, here we go. George sat himself down at the table in the kitchen. He was shaking a little. Remember, because Grandma had just scared him. Oh, how he hated Grandma. He really hated that horrid witchy old woman. And all of a sudden, he had a tremendous urge to do something about her. Something whopping. Something absolutely terrific. A real shocker. A sort of explosion of some sort. He wanted to blow away the witchy smell that hung about her in the next room. He may have been only 8 years old, but he was a brave little boy, and he was ready to take this old woman on. I'm not going to be frightened by her, he said softly to himself, but he was frightened, and that's why he wanted to suddenly explode her away. Well, not quite away, but he just wanted to scare her a little bit. Very well then, what should it be? This whopping, terrific, exploding shocker for Grandma. He would like to put fireworks bangers under her chair, but he didn't have one. He would like to put a long green snake down the back of her dress, but he didn't have a long green snake. He would like to have put 6 big black rats in the room with her and locked the door, but he didn't have 6 big black rats. As George sat there pondering, that means thinking, this interesting problem, his eyes fell upon the bottle of Grandma's brown medicine standing on the sideboard. Rotten stuff it seemed to be. 4 times a day, a large spoonful of it was shoveled into her mouth, and it didn't do her the slightest bit of good. She was always horrid after she had it, and as she had been before. The whole point of medicine, surely, was to make a person better. If it didn't do that, it was useless. So, ho, thought George suddenly. Aha! Ho-hum! I know exactly what I shall do. I shall make her a new medicine, one that is so strong and so fierce and so fantastic, it will cure anything completely or blow off the top of her head. I'll make her a magic medicine, a medicine no doctor in the world has ever made. See the name of the book? George's Marvellous Medicine. But so far he's called it a magic medicine. George looked at the kitchen clock. It said 10:05. There was nearly an hour left before Grandma's next dose at 11 o'clock. Here we go then, cried George, jumping up from the table. A magic medicine it shall be. So he's got 1 hour to make a magic medicine for Grandma. Okay, he's going to say a little poem while he does it. I'll pause and you see if you can fill in some of the words in the poem. So give me a bug and a jumping flea, give me 2 snails and lizards 3, a slimy squiggler from the sea and a poisonous sting of a bumblebee, the juice from the fruit of a jubjub tree, the powdered bone of a wombat's, did you say knee? 100 other things as well, each with a rather nasty smell. I'll stir them up, I'll boil them long, a mixture tough and a mixture strong. And then hey-ho, and down it goes, the nice big spoon. Hold your nose. Just gulp it down and have no fear. How do you like it, Granny dear? Will she go pop? Will she explode? Will she go flying down the road? Will she go poof in a puff of smoke, start fizzing like a can of Coke? Who knows, not I, let's wait and see. I'm glad it's neither you nor me. Oh, Grandma, if only you knew what I've got in store for you. Woohoo! I'm going to keep reading. We're up to chapter 3. George begins to make the medicine. Let's see if this is going to be marvellous. George took an enormous saucepan out of the cupboard and placed it on the kitchen table. George! Came a shrill voice from the next room. What are you doing? Nothing, Grandma, he called out. You needn't think I can't hear you just because you've closed the door. You're rattling saucepans. I'm just tidying the kitchen, Grandma. There was silence. George had absolutely no doubt whatsoever about how he was going to make his famous medicine. He wasn't going to fool about wondering whether to put in a little bit of this and a little bit of that. Quite simply, he was going to put in everything he could find. There would be no messing about, no hesitating, no wondering whether a particular thing would knock the old girl sideways. The rule would be this: whatever he saw, if it was runny or powdery or gooey, in it went. Nobody had ever made a medicine quite like that before. If it didn't actually cure Grandma, make her better and stop being so grumpy, then it would anyway cause some exciting results. It would be worth watching. George decided to work his way around the various rooms one at a time and see what they had to offer to put in the medicine. He would first go to the bathroom. There was always lots of funny things in the bathroom. So upstairs he went, carrying the enormous 2-handled saucepan as he went. Going to the bathroom, remember? In the bathroom, he gazed longingly at the famous and dreaded medicine cabinet. But he didn't go near it. It was the only thing in the entire house he was forbidden to touch. Is that the same in your house? You mustn't go near the medicine. It could be really dangerous. He had made a solemn promise to his parents, like you, about this, and he wasn't going to break a promise. There were things in there they had told him that could actually kill a person. And although he was out to give Grandma a pretty fiery mouthful, he didn't want a dead body on his hands. George put the saucepan on the floor and went to work. Number 1 was a bottle labelled Golden Gloss Hair Shampoo. He emptied it into the pan. That ought to wash her tummy nice and clean. He took a full tube of toothpaste and squeezed out the whole lot, like one long worm. Maybe it will brighten up those horrid brown teeth of hers. There was an aerosol can that said Super Shaving Foam. Belonging to his father. George loved playing with cans like that. He pressed the button and kept his finger on it until there was nothing left. A wonderful mountain of white foam built up in a giant saucepan. With his fingers, he scooped out the contents of a jar of vitamin-enriched face cream. Some moisturizer. And in went a small bottle of nail varnish. If the toothpaste doesn't clean her teeth, that will paint them red roses. He found another jar of creamy stuff labelled hair remover. George tipped it into the saucepan. There was famous dandruff cure, powder for cleaning false teeth, Nevermore deodorant spray. She could use plenty of that. She really smelt bad. George said as he sprayed the entire canful into the saucepan. There were lots of other things he put in there. There was a bottle of perfume with flowers of turnips. It smelled of old cheese, and it went in. He found lipsticks, and then he went to the bedroom. The bedroom had nothing more to offer, so George carried the enormous saucepan down again and trotted into the laundry room where the shelves were full of all kinds of household items. This is the laundry room where you do your washing. He put in washing powder, and he put in floor polish, and he put in anything he could find that was in a bottle and shiny and bright. He scooped the orange-coloured waxy stuff in out of the tin and plonked that in the pan. He found something that said, keep well away, for dogs, keep well away from the dog food, because this powder, if eaten, will make a dog explode. Good, said George, pouring it into the saucepan. He found a box of canary seed. Oh, perhaps it'd make her sing, he thought. Next, George explored the box with shoe cleaning materials. Well, now he thought, Grandma's medicine is brown, so my medicine must also be brown, or she'll smell a rat. So he had to make his medicine the same colour as hers, or she would notice. And we use an English expression, we say, I smell a rat. It means, I detect there's a problem here. I think something's going wrong. So he doesn't want her to smell a rat. The way to colour it, he decided, would be with the brown shoe polish. He scooped it out with an old spoon and plopped it in the pan. He would stir it up later. Back in the kitchen, George put the huge saucepan on the table and went over to the cupboard and served as a larder, like a pantry where you keep your food. The shelves were bulging with bottles and jars of every sort. He chose the following and emptied them one by one into the saucepan. Are you ready? 1 tin of curry powder, 1 tin of mustard, a bottle of extra hot chili sauce, a tin of black peppercorns, a bottle of horseradish sauce. Whoa, that's really spicy. Do you know wasabi? Sometimes you have it with your sushi. There, he said aloud. That should do it. George, came his screechy voice from the next room. Who are you talking to in there? What are you up to? Nothing, Grandma. Absolutely nothing. Is it time for my medicine yet? No, Grandma. Not for another 30 minutes. Well, just see you don't forget. Oh, Grandma, I promise I'm not going to forget your medicine. Ooh. Turn to the person next to you and say what you think is going to happen next.